Welcome to Health Coach for Women. Intentional living for more happiness and fulfillment in your everyday life with your host, Marsha Roopchand-Walker. Join Marsha as she shares her own personal wellness journey, as well as stories from our guests that will enlighten and inspire you to move towards better health and happiness. Now, here's your host, Marsha Roopchand-Walker.
Welcome to today's episode. Today, I want to ask a question. Will you let your dreams just remain a dream? That's today's episode. So many people are either at their jobs or not working. And they're the ones who are working, they're at jobs that they really dislike and they hate it. And those same people who complain about their jobs are wishing that they had their jobs now that they hate it. So, and I don't say that so my giggle is not to make light of any situation at all. I'm just saying, like when you have something, you don't really appreciate it until it's taken away from you. But in any event, think about when you were a kid. Think about, all those things that you said that you wanted to do as a kid, these dreams that you had. What happened to those dreams? What happened to those desires that you had? And so many people, like I said, they're walking around just merely existing. Now, don't get me wrong. There are people who are very content with where they are and what they have, and you should always be that way. You should always be grateful, and that's how I choose. That's how I live my life, right? Being grateful for everything, every day. So appreciate the little things, right? So we have to appreciate the little things and the simple things in life. But know that those gifts and talents and dreams that you had as a kid, those are some of the things that you should be tapping into, because we were all given a choice, right, to choose. And sometimes things happen, right? Things happen. So, you maybe when you were younger, you wanted to be a dancer or whatever it is. And then you got married, had a family, settled down, right? And those things are no more, right? And so, but what can you do just to fulfill that little dream that you had, that passion? What things can you do just to give you that more, joy, and that excitement and fulfillment that you're looking for? So maybe it may not be a career choice, right? Maybe you're older now, you can't dance professionally. You can, or you cannot, right? So I don't want to talk in a negative connotation to say that you can't, because I believe anything is possible. You have people that become models and weightlifters in their 50s and 60s. So I don't want to say you can't, right? So I take that statement back. I don't want to say you can't, because anything is possible, right? So using myself as an example, me going back to school, probably being the oldest in my class, which I'm sure I was the oldest in my class. Everyone was much younger. I didn't let that hinder me. I didn't let that stop me, right? Although school is a challenge, right? Learning something new, doing something new. Anytime you're doing something new, it's a challenge, right? But then you have to ask yourself, do you want it? How bad do you want it? How much do you desire it? So if it's something that you want and it's something that still plays in the back of your mind, then yeah, you should go for it. Forget about age, right? Forget about, you don't learn as quickly. You're not able to pick it up as quickly as the younger folks. Well, hey, that may be true, right? That's true for myself, right? I may not be as quickly as the others, in my class, but once I get it, I get it. So I wouldn't tell anyone to not have a dream, right? Or to not pursue the passions and desires that they once held as a child. They want to pursue something. So even if it's something that you do as a hobby, even if it's something you do as volunteer work, there's people that will come to the nursing home, which I think is so beautiful. Like, they take the time out of their life, their time, to come and entertain and make the people feel happy, right? Make the elderly feel happy, and they come and they sing and perform, So he's maybe a professional singer in a sense where he comes out and do this. I don't know the person, but I'm just using this as an example where, he comes and he sings to the residents and making them feel good, and they're so happy, bad enough they can't go anywhere, right? So, he's there to sing and put a smile on their face, and they enjoy it. So I say that to say, you can find passion, you can find the dream that you had, when you were younger, or maybe your dreams changed, and that's okay. You have a new dream now, and that's okay. Don't limit yourself and say that it's not possible. It's only impossible when you limit yourself. So you have to begin to shift the way you think and believe that everything is possible, right? So you just have to believe it, and you do have to put action behind those thoughts and ideas, right? So if you have the desire to, write a book, you can do that. Oh, you don't know the first thing about writing a book. Well, Google it. There's a lot of free resources. We're in the information age. There's so many things that you can learn, and that will give you free resources in how to start writing your book. How, the beginning, how many pages your book should contain roughly. They'll give you an average, things like that. You can go on the internet and find those things, right? Whatever it is, if you're in network marketing and you really want to, and you're passionate about that, then if that's what you're passionate about, do it. Will everybody see your vision? Will everybody understand your vision of what you're trying to do? And because you believe in something so strongly? No, right? No, everyone is not. And I'm not saying this just for network marketing. I'm saying this for any business or any dream or vision that you have. Everyone is not going to see your vision because it's your vision. It's your dream, right? And you have some people will tell you, oh, no, that'll never happen, or no, that'll never be, right? That can't work. Well, how do you know that? You can't listen to someone who's never done what you're trying to do, and they may not be coming from a negative place at all. They're simply just feel like they love you, and in their mind, that's their reality, right? That's impossible. It can't happen. Right? But that's their reality. It's not your reality. So don't take someone else's reality and make it yours, because the dream will never happen. So you have to, I listened to, who was it? Tyler Perry. And I listened to him as he told his story about when he was just starting out. And I found that to be so interesting. He was telling his story about, he heard this voice, he heard the voice, to, maybe go ahead and take that leap, quit the job. I don't remember the exact words of what he said he heard, but it was basically like he felt like God was speaking to him to tell him to go ahead, pursue this, go for it. And I can tell you clearly, like, I remember experiencing it. I remember hearing this voice, when at the time when I was doing security in Atlanta, and I was like, this is not it. This is not what I should be doing. Because like I said, for me, I always felt like there is something else that I am supposed to be doing. Even though I didn't know what it was, there was something else that I'm supposed to be doing. And it's on a different level. It's not serving this way. It's not serving in a way of, where I'm just securing the building and securing the people in the building, doing security work or something like that. It's not that. And prior to that, I was a correction officer, so it wasn't me trying to serve in that way, and people can say, who've met me, would say, yeah, I'm always positive. I'm always trying to motivate and inspire people, right? But in that setting there, yeah, there's some people that I may have touched and don't even know it, right? And I know when I did security, I remember a lady saying to me, and she was actually leaving. She was actually leaving that job where she was working at in that building. And she said, and she teared up. And it was so touching for me that she said, you know what? I see you every morning and you always have a smile on your face. And I just appreciate seeing you, and just having that smile and that warmness. And she said, I'm gonna miss here and I'm gonna miss that, And that touched me. That touched me in a way like, wow, like in my mind, I'm just sitting here just doing this security concierge, I'm basically a receptionist in a security guard uniform, right? But for her to say that to me, it just let me know that, boy, you can touch someone and not even know it. You can make a difference in someone's life and not even know it, right? Simply your presence, right? Your presence, your attitude, your character, simply just having a smile, saying good morning, right? You can impact someone's life. I digress for a moment, but I just needed to share that story. But I'm saying this because don't let, remember, your vision is your vision. Don't let anyone, dwindle your light, dwindle what you feel, with the burning desire that you have going for yourself, whatever it is that you feel, that you just feel like there's something you're passionate about and you desire it. And, I talked about this before on another episode. And remember, like I said, it's your vision. And back to Tyler Perry, I kind of drifted off here, but back to Tyler Perry, and he talked about that, and he talked about hearing his voice. And again, I remember, and it was relatable for me because I remember experiencing that same thing, right? And it was and I was so in tune to what he was saying because I could relate, and I'm getting ready for work, and I'm saying to myself, I don't want to do this. I want to do something else. And I heard the voice. I can't really explain it. Well, the voice was like, well, what are you waiting for? And that's the voice that I heard. And it took me years. It took some time because just like Tyler Perry in his story, he made several different attempts, right? Going at it for his plays. And I think he talked about one where he heard the voice again and he put everything he had into it, right? He put everything he had into this show, I think in Colombia or something like that. But he put everything he had into it. And if this wasn't going to work, that was it. He was going to lose it all. And sure enough, it was a thunderstorm. I believe he said it was some type of storm. So, of course, with that, no one showed up. There was no show. He lost everything and became homeless. And I'm like, oh my gosh, wow. But yet he heard that voice. So sometimes we're like, okay, well, if you're a believer and you believe in God like myself, like, okay, God, would you told me this way, you said this, you said, this is what I should be doing, go for this. And it was just flop after flop after flop, right? But that journey is what pushed you through. That journey of experiencing all the hardship is only to make you stronger, right? To pursue what it could, because he could have gave up, and just like I could have gave up, right? I could have gave up a long time ago. I failed, and I've said this before, I failed, numerous times. I've made bad choices in my life, and I've said that before too. Losing everything, being bankrupt, being homeless, going through my issues with my health, feeling unfulfilled. I've experienced all of those things. And at the end of the day, it was like, okay, well, what now? And going through it all, it brought me to a place of really that self-discovery and really finding who I am and that purpose and what it is that I want to do. And I knew that I wanted to serve my community of women. And so for me, I had to stick with that desire. I had to stick with that. I've done it in different ways, right? From doing my magazine blog that I had at the time back in Atlanta, so having the opportunity to experience meeting people to propel me, so to speak, to push me into that greatness, so to speak, because sometimes you will notice that you will encounter and meet people along the way, and it may be temporary. It may not be long term, but they're there for a purpose. They're there for a reason, right? It's to help push you along the way, to propel you, right? But you yourself have to choose. You yourself have to make a decision and choose, right? Because you could only lead a person so far. You could only lead a person so far. So for me, it was like I was always stuck into being shy. I remember, here I go with another story. I remember when I was in our singing group, right? Me and my friends at the time, well, they're still friends of mine now, but in our younger days, we were in a singing group, right? And I was always, I always wanted to stay in the background. We had the two powerhouse singers, they had the powerful voices, and myself and another member, we were more like, not so much our voices were more not as powerful as theirs. But when we blended in harmony, oh my gosh, it was beautiful. When we blended with the harmony, with the different, notes, the sopranos, the alto, when we blended, it was such a beautiful harmony. But I always wanted to stay in the background, never wanted to be front and center with anything. Anything I wanted to do it with the group. Never wanted to do something on my own, by myself, until I had to learn to start doing it. I had to learn to start doing things for myself, by myself, right? Not always wanting to have someone to be there, right? Let's just say like, oh, I want to go to the gym. I need a partner. Yeah, it's more exciting when you have, excuse me, when you have someone to be in that or space with you, right? When you're working out, it's more fun, it's more exciting. But everybody have different schedules and lifestyles and things like that. So you're going to limit yourself and say, I'm not going to go to the gym because your girlfriend can't make it. No, and I would travel by myself, me and my dog, or me and my son and my dog at the time, I would travel. I would do things by myself, so whatever I wanted, I didn't let anything stop me from getting what I wanted. I didn't let anything stand in my way, so I always had that about me, right? And I always had this way about me where if I want something, I'm going to go for it. I'm going to do it, right? And so I may fail, but I'll keep doing it. And I may fail and I may take a break, right? Because I'm burnt out at the time. I'm like, oh, okay, I need a break, right? So, and that's okay. But it's to get back up and to keep going for what you want. You can't stop the desire. If you have that desire, you cannot stop that. You cannot just bury it without, I have all these thoughts rushing in my mind. So my words is coming out quicker than I can actually say it because there's so much in my mind. But you can't let anything hinder you from what you're trying to achieve. If you want something, you have to pursue it. You have to go for it. you have that desire to do something, you have that dream as a kid, start out volunteering, start out going to little online workshops, because now, in-person workshops may not be, going on right now. I don't know. It just depends. Go to your virtual workshops, learn what you can, improve your skill set, and be able to pursue what you want. Be able to, don't let that dream get buried with you when it's your time, right? Don't let that dream get buried with you. No one will know that talent or that beautiful story that you could share with someone, right? That can probably help someone or save someone else. So that's how you have to look at it. Like, you have this desire. Maybe you're an artist, maybe you're a painter, maybe you play instrument or whatever it is. No one will know about it unless you share it. No one will know about it unless you share it. So be willing and be open, and it's okay. Don't worry about failing. Failing, know that failing is a part of your success, right? Failing is a part of your success. And again, I'll use Tyler Perry as an example. We know that he, from what he said, he's pursued doing this thing for the play and doing this thing and been pushing it and doing it and not having much success. And, very few people came out. And the one he did the last time, he lost everything. But he found someone who believed in what he was doing, and he found someone who was willing to invest. And then everything changed. But what if he said, I'm done? What if he had said, I'm done, I'm not doing this anymore? All of the Medea shows and the Tyler Perry movies, all the good movies that we enjoyed and laughed at, and they wouldn't they wouldn't even happen. They wouldn't happen, right? Because he threw in the towel. So, and just like for myself, had I said, no, I'm not going to pursue this anymore, I'm not doing anything anymore, what I'm doing, serving my community of women to help them improve their health, putting self-care, putting themselves first, and getting back to being a better you, getting to really discover who you really are. Everything of what I'm trying to do would be non-existent. It would be non-existent. Like, I've had people send me private messages, where they appreciate, my content. They appreciate, the post that I put out or something like that. And so if you've touched one person, you're doing your job. You're on the right track. You can't let other people discourage you, right? Everybody may not be for you and what you're doing. Again, remember, it's your vision. It's your dream, right? So whatever it is, whether it's cooking, whatever it is, you be passionate and stick with what you're doing. And remember to focus on that one thing. Focus on that one thing that you're trying to accomplish. And once you've done good in that one thing and you want to branch off because you have different desires and passion, right? Because and I could say myself included, right? Like, I have these ideas and visions for different things. But right now my focus is on this one thing, right? And that's serving my community of women as coaching, as a health coach. So I'll tell anyone, don't be afraid of failure. Don't be afraid of fear. You have to face it head on. Embrace it. Do it with fear. Even if you're scared, do it anyway, because the only way to break through that fear is to actually do it. And the only way to fulfill your dream is to take action and do it. Don't just dream about it, right? Don't just go ahead and create these vision boards, all right, and you have all this cute little pictures and things of what you want. You have to set your intentions and the action behind it. So you set your intentions on what you want, and you put the action behind it, right? So it's not just having the visuals, all of that is beautiful and is nice, is good, but it's setting your intentions and your thought process behind it, because your thought, right, your thoughts, the way you think, it affects your reality. Okay, so I've talked about that before in another episode as well. So you have to be willing to, do your part. Do your part in what it is that you say that you want. Don't bury your dream. Don't bury that passion that you have. If that's what you want to do, then do it. And there's so many people, walking around right now that when you speak to people, they have all these great talents. You're like, what? Like you're able to do this? Why aren't you doing that? It's so, and then people come up with different excuses as to why, and people are afraid to fail. Excuse me. They're afraid to fail. They're afraid of failure and or being rejected, or those things. Just know that it's a part of it comes with it. It's just when you're about to quit that you are so close. It's when you're about to quit that you are so close. So keep up doing what you want to do. If you have a dream, a desire, do it. Don't let those dreams get buried away with you. Just think about Tyler Perry, and had he decided to throw in the towel and said, forget this, when he became homeless, and he said, forget it, I'm done, right? He could have said, just forget this, I'm done, forget about it. But it's being persistent, consistent, and believing and knowing that it's going to happen, and you have to have that desire for what you want. You have to really have that dream. It can't just be a dream, right? You want to make that dream a reality. So the only way to make that dream a reality is to go ahead and to pursue it and do it. Take action, do it. Set your intentions, right? If you're passionate about it, go ahead and do it. And so I'll tell anybody, never give up on what you believe. If you have a dream, a passion, whatever it is, pursue it. We're not here to just exist and pay bills, right? Work, pay bills, repeat. Work, pay bills, repeat. You get a vacation here and there, and nowadays you can't hardly even go anywhere. So, there has to be another way that you can find things that gives you more joy and happiness, right? And even when you just do something as simple of just sitting in your backyard or sitting out on your terrace or just going outside getting fresh air, right? So that's a part of that self-care, because we need that. We need that. We need that self-care. We need that. So that's something that's going to boost our energy and our mood. So we have to do something that's happy and fulfilling for us. So it's so important to remember that. It's so important not to lose yourself along the way as we live our everyday lives with raising our family. If you're homeschooling or going to work, or even if you're retired and you feel like, oh, there's nothing to do, or maybe you have another job even if you're retired. But you got to have that passion of something, right? You have that passion with something. So this message may not be for everybody, but if it resonates with you, then I hope that you will do something about it. Like I said, set your intentions. If you have a dream, don't let your dreams just become a dream, remain a dream. You don't want them to remain a dream. You want your dream to become a reality. Make your dream a reality. And so I think I'm just going to wrap this up right now. Never give up on what you're trying to do. Remember, you have the right to choose. We were given free will. Remember that we were given free will. So you have the right to choose. So it's up to you to decide and choose. That's all for now. I thank you all for listening. If you're interested on being a part of my program, my 6-week program, you are welcome to send me an email. You're welcome to schedule something on my calendar to see if we are a right fit, and to explore how I can serve you. Thank you again for tuning in on today's episode, and be blessed. Until next time, stay safe. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much for listening to Health Coach for Women with your host, Marsha Roopchand-Walker. If you've enjoyed this podcast, please be sure to rate, subscribe, and review on your preferred podcast listening platform. We really appreciate that effort. Until next time.